Hello YouTube. Today we're going to go over a stack data structure in JavaScript and try to implement one. So what is a stack? A stack in JavaScript is a fundamental data structure in computer science that follows the last in, first out principle. That means that the last element added to the stack will be the first one removed. Stacks usually have push, pop, peek, is empty methods on them, and we're going to basically try to implement one and see how that goes. So how does the stack work? So you would have one item here, and then you would push another item on it, and then you could push another item on top of that. So then the last one, if you was to pop, you would pop it off. And if you peek at the item, you would peek and get the top item, basically to see what the top item on your stack is. Is empty would just tell you if the stack is empty and there's no elements in the stack. So how would you implement one of these in JavaScript? So you would first start with a class, and we're going to name it stack. And you would also have a constructor. Your constructor would have this dot storage, and we're going to use a object to make this, and we're using these underscores right here to represent a private just a private variable or private item inside of our stack. It doesn't prevent you from accessing this, but it tells other developers that this is what our intent is to not access these. This dot count, and we're going to initialize that to 0. Let's see, we're going to implement, what would we implement first? We're going to implement something easy, and we're going to say is empty. Is empty, and basically that one would just return. We're going to return this dot count equals 0. So that's going to return a boolean to let us know if that is empty or not. It's going to return true or false. See, we can implement the size. So the size would just give us return this dot count, and let's see. Those are pretty much the easiest ones to implement first, and then now we're going to go, let's say we're going to implement push. Push would be, okay, we need to add item in here. We're going to push an item, so we're going to say this dot storage, this dot count. So we're going to access this dot storage. This dot count would give us equals the item, so that's going to access the item there, and then we're going to increase the count. So once we push this into the object, we're going to increase the count So that's going to increase this number. Alright, so now we're going to implement pop. And this one's a little bit harder to implement because we could use the built-in methods, push and pop, but we don't want to do that. So we're going to start off with if. We're going to start off with the if statement to check if this dot count 0. If this dot count equals 0, we're going to throw a new error. And we're just going to say that something like stack underflow, just to let everybody know that there's nothing in there. So then we want to backtrack one space to get the last filled slot. Oops. And then once we do that, we're going to get a reference. So we're going to say result equals this dot storage. Then this dot count. So we're going to access this last filled slot. And then we're going to delete this dot storage. This dot count -1. So we're going to delete that last item that was on there because we got a reference to this number, to this index, and then we're going to return the result. Alright, let's see. What do we have here? Pop is empty. And then now we need to get peak. Peak, we're going to say if this dot count equals 0, we're going to return null, and then we're going to return the last item. So this dot storage, this dot count -1. Alright, so now we can try to check our stack out and see if it works properly. So we're going to say const my stack equals a new stack. So we initialized the new stack. So we're going to say my stack dot push item 1, and then let's just copy this and then we're going to say item 2, item 3. So let's peek at the stack. My stack dot peak. So we should get item 3 because that is the last item pushed on the stack. So that's the top of the stack. So let's say my stack dot size. So that's right. Let's try to stack that pop. So we got item 3 on there. Let's say my stack dot is empty and false. So overall, I think this is a pretty good, decent implementation of a stack, and I hope this helps.